Welcome back to the show. Make sure to smash that like button. It really helps.
Tell us about your journey, brother. We want to hear about it, brother. Tell me some high points, some low points, and where you flying now on your journey.
Actually trying to find your footing as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of, I wouldn't say difficult, but very challenging because you're being pushed and pulled in so many different directions. So you want to please this person, please that person. So once you actually stop trying to please people and stop listening to the naysayers and just step out there and do it yourself, it makes the journey a lot more fulfilling, a lot more, wouldn't necessarily say easier, but you can navigate a lot smoother doing things your way and not trying to necessarily be a people pleaser, because you're not going to be able to please everybody. And I don't try to uphold other people's expectations. I tell anybody, you know what I'm saying, if you put any type of expectations on me, I'm gonna let you down early. They're gonna let you know that that's not even how we about to go about this. I like to set standards, boundaries, and we just roll with it from there. I like to be as transparent as possible. High point, everything, life itself is a very high point to me. Life is all about duality. You can't have the good without the bad. You're willing to embrace and go with the good, you got to be able to go with the bad, and like roll with it the same way, because everything is a learning curve, a learning block, a stepping stool. I was just telling the kids the other day, I had a second grade class, and we was going over their spelling words, and they played this game beforehand, sort of kind of like how we did in the bull ring. Somebody stand in the middle and everybody got to hit somebody, but how they do it is every kid says a letter to spell out the word. And I had a couple of second graders that they wanted to cry when they didn't win. And I told them, competition is all about winning or losing. You're not going to always be the winner. It feels good, feels great when you do win, but just in case you don't win, you have to be able to embrace that loss the same way. You want a person to cheer and pat you on your back and say, great job. You have to be willing to do the same thing if you lose. Don't sit over here, moan, pout, cry, throw a temper tantrum, a fit or whatever have you, because you didn't win. You not winning didn't mean that you didn't know it. You still know it. You just didn't win. And if you're not willing to accept the loss along with the win, then stop competing. Competition isn't for you.
And that's what we don't see a lot of nowadays. Even back then, we saw the very beginnings of instant gratification, right? Where the internet just picked up, where Amazon was just picking up. You couldn't get stuff delivered to your house. You still had to go out and go get it. Now with so many options now, it really distorts it. An example, the Netflix. Why is it so hard to find something on Netflix? Why? Because you have so many options to pick from. You spoke on something real deep today too, and I appreciate you again for your time, brother. You spoke about this thing that most people don't talk about, and especially Black people, we should all know about. It's called duality. Where it was a mother, there was a father. Where it was the sun, there was the moon. Where there was winter, there was summer. And we've moved so far away from duality. You can expand on something as far as duality. Men of a certain caliber like us, like you, would you say you were single?
Single?
Yeah. You a single man out here?
Yeah, you can say that.
I ain't trying to put you in a box or nothing, but it's
nah,
single or married.
If we're going by societal norms, then yes, I'm single.
Got you.
I don't go by society norms when it comes to anything. Why? I don't, because it doesn't work.
Facts. They've been feeling in monogamy for years.
But we was never really meant to be with just one woman. And it could be vice versa for women if they know how to balance it out. I'm just not putting men on this higher pedestal or whatever. It's nothing like that. It comes a lot more natural for a man because we're not really out here seeking to only be with one woman. Now, you do have those men, they can't balance it all. So one woman keeps them steady, keep them stable. But for myself, being with one woman, trying the whole monogamy thing, that was something that was forced upon us. We looking up to people that don't even do it right themselves, whoever that may be. So I'm not about to just put myself in a box. Or one thing that really separates me from a lot of other people, I know my capabilities. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. I know what I'm willing
Right.
to do, and I know what what I'm not willing to do. And I've tried being the whole monogamous thing. It doesn't work out that well. Me being able to balance my life
Mm-hmm.
with multiple women works out a lot better for me. It may not work out that way for a lot of other people, but for me, having at least more than one works out a lot better.
Want to tie it into things that we should be like teaching our children. Would you teach the kids like me? I think that if I had the opportunity, all right, now what you want to teach the next generation? I think I would want to first let them know, hey, there's different levels of this thing. There's men's like the Buds and the Gregs and the Monies over there. What you need to do is work on yourself because you're gonna be invisible to a lot of females, at least until you're 40. I don't think a lot of men are privy to this information. But for a lot of men, they really invisible until they a CEO or something. What's some knowing where you didn't came from, Bud, knowing how far we didn't came, knowing where you at now, what's one thing that you, as far as like relationships, that you would teach your protege? That's a good one, ain't it? Yeah, I'm with the good ones. Gotcha.
It's just so much. It's just so much.
Hmm.
It's,
Top three. Top three. I take three. I take three. Top three things you tell them.
top three.
I don't want you to have a personal connection to them. I want this person just to be someone that you see growing up, and you just want to see. You want to be in some type of developmental path in his, you know, what I'm saying, that his upbringing. So what's three things you would put on this? Knowing you know how to get it. What's three things you would expound on this young man?
Three things. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't put up walls or barriers. Now, it's cool to have boundaries, but don't set up don't put up walls because I elaborate on each one after. And the third one would be hold a person to what they say.
I like that.
So saying what you mean and mean what you say, you can actually determine and find out if a person is lying or not. Because the only people lie, everybody lies. But the only way to actually determine if a person is lying if their actions matches their words. Two, putting up walls is we tend to want to protect ourselves and protect our feelings. Like nobody out here is looking to get hurt, especially if you have already been hurt. If you have already been hurt, you already know how that feeling is. That pain is undescribable, is unbearable. Nobody wants to deal with it. But one way to actually minimize that, because you're not going to stop things are going to still happen. But one way to minimize it is not putting up the walls, making a person work so hard to try to get to know you or find out or figure out things about you. The more you're open with a person and the more you reveal to a person, the more you can
Mm-hmm.
actually notice and recognize the red flags. We tend to overlook or not even really pay attention to the red flags because of the wall and the barrier that we have set up.
That's fire.
And the third thing, holding a person to what they say. If you tell me something, it goes back to the very first thing. What you mean and mean what you say. When a person says something, hold that. You said this. You said that. Now you said you was gonna do this right here. Now why didn't you do that right there? You're not throwing
That was
up.
your word.
You're not throwing up that people are done or doing for you, because people tend to feel some type of way about that. But if you're telling me a certain thing, I'm gonna hold you to that. We have to hold people accountable for what they're saying or what they're not saying. That's definitely something that I teach my little girl, because my little girl, she'll never find a guy out here in the world. But the qualities and the value that I have, if she can find at least one of the qualities in me, and that
Mm-hmm.
quality would be me actually holding my word, then you done
Mm-hmm.
actually found you a decent man that you can actually work with and build on.